Welcome to Baz Travels. After driving 14,826 kilometers through 24 states and Washington DC, I've seen rocket launches to the Grand Canyon and Hoover Dam. I've explored Route 66, ghost towns, deserts, snow, and beaches on both coasts. From Vegas casinos to Alcatraz, the White House to Hollywood. Join me for a journey of the ordinary and the extraordinary.
Loading destination. Simulation starting in 3, 2, 1. To look around, move your phone or tablet. Click and drag if on a computer or move your head if using a VR headset. Please like and subscribe.
The Shedd Aquarium exists because Chicago made a decision to bring the natural world into the city. And doing that at scale required more than a building. It required a system that could replicate and sustain aquatic environments far from their original source. When it opened in 1930, the idea of a large public aquarium was still relatively new, and what made this one different was its ambition. It was designed not to just display marine life, but to transport it, maintain it, and present it in a way that people can engage with it consistently. That immediately creates a problem. Water-based ecosystems are highly sensitive, and moving them inland introduces challenges around temperature, chemistry, and filtration that have to be controlled continuously. The aquarium solves that by using closed-loop systems where water is treated, circulated, and monitored rather than constantly replaced. This turns the building into an operating system. Instead of being a static structure, it becomes a controlled environment where multiple subsystems work together to maintain stability. Pumps regulate flow, filtration systems remove waste, and temperature control keeps conditions within narrow ranges that aquatic life can tolerate. The location of the Shedd Aquarium is also deliberate. It sits on the museum campus alongside other major institutions, which creates a concentrated zone of knowledge and public access. This clustering is not just convenient, it is efficient, because it allows large numbers of visitors to move between institutions without needing to travel across the city. There is also a relationship between the aquarium and Lake Michigan. Even though the aquarium operates as a controlled internal system, its placement near a massive freshwater body reinforces its connection to the broader environment. It sits at the edge of a natural system while operating an artificial one, which creates an interesting contrast between controlled and uncontrolled water systems. From a design perspective, the building itself reflects its purpose. The structure is solid and symmetrical, which gives it stability both physically and visually. That matters because it communicates permanence, which aligns with the idea of an institution designed to manage complex systems over long periods of time. There is also a broader pattern in how institutions like this function within a city. They act as interfaces between people and systems that are otherwise difficult to access. Most people cannot directly experience large-scale aquatic environments, but an aquarium translates that complexity into something that can be observed and understood. What makes the Shedd Aquarium significant is not just that it houses aquatic life, but that it represents a controlled version of natural systems operating within an urban environment. It is a place where engineering, biology, and design all intersect. The underlying idea is straightforward. If a system cannot be brought directly into a city, it can be recreated and managed, and the Shedd Aquarium shows how that can be done at a scale that remains stable over time.
Simulation terminated. Please comment, like and subscribe.